or you can turn it. The difference is this: if you do it this way and you do this, you'll feel it in the lower portion of the quadriceps. In this leg, if you turn this leg, you will feel a lot more contraction in the upper portion of the quadriceps on this leg. You can still feel this too, but so I try both. But either way, if I do, and these are the other portion of the stances, right? So I put them all together again for a reason. We have one more after this. So I'm like this. I want to keep the body in this line, right? If you watch, there's a video where I talk about these three stances in particular. But I want to keep this line. If I was doing it as a Steven stance, I would want to keep this line, right? If I wanted to step through with this move and go that way, I would bend, I would straighten me up, and then I would bring me through, and then I would do the action. If I do it as a resting stance, the same thing, I'm going to rotate, and I'm either going to be like this, or I would do it this way, depending on the motion. But I may be completely upright, I'll bend this knee to give you this way, just like the same thing with the bow stance, like this versus this, right? But a lot of times this movement is done, it's done very sparingly in the Taiji barehand forms, but you'll see it in like sword routines and things like that, quite a bit more, right? And usually when you do it, right, he's here, and he's going to go down, and the knee is going to be, I don't want to put the knee on the ground, right before. If you practice it at home, you put your little pillow, like a throw pillow from the couch or something on it. But don't put your hands here to try to help, right? Just try to work it, and then we have two more stances. There's a 70-30. My toes are going to be basically on the same line. And I'm going to bend this knee and this knee. And look, I'm going to have a relatively upright posture. And 70% of my weight's here, and we'll say 30 here. Right? And if I turn it this way, this way, same thing. Different people, different viewpoints. Some people, the toes pointing straight ahead, some just turn slightly in like this. Right? It depends on what I'm going to do with it, right? I may draw this foot in to send me forward. I may use it because there's more weight on the back leg and drive it. Right? But I'll let this upright. I don't do the stance like this. It puts my back in a bad spot. It's hard for me to breathe because I'm contracting the lower abdominal muscles. It's harder to breathe. And the other part too is the instability of the structure of it, right? So it's easy for somebody to sweep the leg. Right, you're further away from me, but this way is better, right? I have me under me, I can move, I can change me much faster and do movements. There is a 60-40 stance, right? So as wide as a horse, right? So we have the high horse, and then we have the low horse, which is 1.5 or 2 times the width of my shoulders, right? And when I go down, I want to try to make this flat, right? So whether, if you think about it, when you're doing your Tai Chi or your Swajia, you're always down here, right? In reality, I shouldn't be standing up in between the moves, but I need to keep this loaded. So a lot of people that do Kung Fu, other styles, they use a horse stance like an isometric exercise, and they may hold it for a minute, 30 seconds, or 5 minutes. Some of them like really hardcore, 15, 20 minutes of holding that position. The drawback to that is that it's going to strengthen the leg in the muscles in one range. It's not like it's going to, endurance-wise, yes, but to strengthen the leg all the way through, it's not going to do that. That's why I feel it's better to, I may do it here, I may do it here, I may do it here, right? And I change it. I keep working these different spots, and when it starts to get fatigued somewhere, I change it. And so then I'm working across the whole of the muscle, the muscle, the whole of it. Not just, and that helps me with more endurance too. So there is also a 60-40 stance. So we're going to use basically that same width. I'm going to turn this foot slightly, and I turn this one out. So it looks like that 70-30 stance, right? 70-30 is more up here, right? Some version of this. And this is just wider and deeper. And I don't want to push my butt out. I want to keep my butt under me, and I kind of turn me this way. I want to keep the knee in line with the toe. So even if I turn it this way, or it's turned like this, I do see people that turn it backwards. But in this regard, right? I try to keep it like this, and with a conscious effort of keeping my knee in line with my toe. But I'm going to push. I'm going to push. But you can do it this way, and then turn the foot as you're going to do something, right? Turns, or I'm driving forward, right? I step and I bring the foot in, right? So again, this is just a small overview of these stances. The 60-40 is basically the crouching stance, and when we're doing a lot of the Tai Chi forms, you're probably more in a 60-40 than you are in a deep crouching stance of about 80-20, if we wanted to use numbers. And we have one more move, and a monkey stance like this, right? And I'm upright, and some Tai Chi uses a stance like this quite a bit for its stuff, right? So I'm going to draw it up. And my weight is not like all on this leg, and it's not all on this leg, but I do want the adaptability and agility of this leg, because usually when they're doing this, they're going to go maybe like cat, or monkey to sit back stance, or say like this kind of concept. Okay? But if you think about it, basically like this, and then this is up, right? Both here. And I see some that bring it all the way up, some that leave it behind the other foot, and that's going to be preferences and things like that. Again, I'm not trying to specifically say this is exactly like this. I'm just giving you an overview with the names and the fundamental idea of what it is. So that will give you a little bit of idea of the verbiage if you're in my classes or you're doing something else. But if you think about your Tai Chi walking, it puts 3 or 4 of these pieces together. We'll say like a cat, and then like a crouching or a 60-40, and then in shift forward there's the bow stance, right? And depending on if the Tai Chi that you're doing, it's a lot of shifting, it may do very little, and then look, it's almost like it's turning into a marching stance, right? Or a resting stance. And then it steps through, there's that 60-40 or crouching stance, and then the weight's transferred to the bow stance, right? So if you just break it down and you know what the words are, it makes it so much easier to think about it. So anyway, just a fundamental idea of these stances, and I'm not trying to detail it out perfectly or anything like that. But I will make another video in the next week, if you're watching this in time, of the form that my student taught me. Okay? Thank you.